Today on How It's Made. Three-wheeled vehicles. Baseball bats. Artificial bonsais. And trombones. Three-wheeled vehicles were introduced in the 1990s as exotic concept vehicles. This one is like a motorcycle on steroids. It has what's called a reverse trike design, 2 wheels in front and 1 in the back. It hugs the road like a race car, yet is legal to drive through city streets. This vehicle goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds. It's no faster than a motorcycle, but it definitely turns heads. Production begins with 34 steel tube components that will form the vehicle's chassis. A worker places them in an assembly jig. This positions the tubes for welding. After clamping the components in place, it takes the worker about 4 hours to weld 68 different areas together. For efficiency, 13 of the larger, more complex structures are pre-assembled. The steel tubes measure 1.5 inches in diameter, but the metal itself is only a 1/16 of an inch thick. They're like those used in the aviation industry, strong yet lightweight. This company uses a visual reference method to assemble smaller parts of the vehicle. Before starting, a worker places 80 components on a board with labels that identify them. This way, he's certain he won't forget any nuts, bolts, bearings, brackets, or horns. Using an electric crane, a worker hoists the vehicle's 4-cylinder, 152 horsepower, 1200 cc motorcycle engine into the chassis, now tinted black. Using a pneumatic wrench, he attaches it with 6 bolts and 6 nuts. Here, a worker assembles the 50 parts that make up what's called the footbox. This includes aluminum clutch, brake, and gas pedals. The brake pedal is thicker to withstand more aggressive use. The vehicle decelerates from 60 miles an hour to 0 in just less than 95 feet. He coats part of the brake pedal with a liquid sealant so vibrations won't loosen it. Another worker then mounts 2 output hoses and 2 plastic reservoirs for brake fluid. The brake fluid must withstand heat of 650 degrees Fahrenheit, 86 degrees hotter than what's required for most cars. This enables better engine performance. He installs the footbox onto the front of the chassis using 3 bolts. Controlling the speed with the footbox is crucial, since top speed for the vehicle is 143 miles an hour. Next, he installs part of the suspension system, a cylindrical gas shock absorber. This attaches to the brake system, which is a zinc-plated rotor and an aluminum caliper. Then they attach what's called the 4-into-1 exhaust manifold. The 4 pipes merge into one to vent the exhaust fumes from the engine. They install the electric fan and radiator assembly. Next, a worker attaches a removable leather-covered aluminum driving wheel to the steering column. The driving wheel locks into place with the spring-loaded latch system. Just like a race car, you attach the steering wheel after you sit in the driver's seat so that you can get inside the vehicle. The collapsible steering column is part of the instrument cluster. This includes dials showing the vehicle's speed, mileage, and fuel. There are also switches for turn signals, hazard flashers, high and low beam lights, and to start and kill the engine. Next, workers install the rear wheel to another part of the suspension called a swing arm. They attach it with 1 bolt that's 1.5 feet long and 2 smaller bolts. Workers then install a chain on the rear wheel assembly. When the vehicle's running, the chain's 94 links revolve on 2 sprockets to make the wheel turn. Rubber O-rings on each link prevent dust from damaging the chain. Finally, workers attach 19 molded fiberglass body parts. This factory offers 6 standard colors and several custom colors. When assembled, the vehicle is nearly 11.5 feet long, 6.5 feet wide, and just over 3 feet high. If you have a motorcycle license and a spare $50,000, you too can burn the pavement on this mean set of wheels.
When you set out to find new roads, you build the Chevrolet